right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Today's high stayed in the 70s, but we should enjoy it while it lasts. Why we're short on 70s for the next few days and when we're back in the mid-80s.
Tonight, the I-Team investigating after a rise in car thefts across the St. Louis area. But this time, it's not Hyundais and Kias. The car model becoming the next big target for thieves. But first, we continue our top story. Auto workers hitting the picket line.
When they give me back my my pensions and in the tiers and give back my equitable fair share, then I'll retire.
What those on strike are doing right now to make sure they still collect a paycheck. Auto workers all across the country and right here in our area now preparing to enter day 3 on the picket lines. It's the first time in history the group has gone on strike at all 3 major plants. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. Tonight, thousands of workers in Wentzville are demanding better wages, shorter work weeks, and more benefits. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is live in Wentzville for us. She's been following this story since the very beginning. Diamond, some of those workers had to meet an important deadline today.
Well, Brent, that is correct. Strikers here tell us that today was the final day to register for strike duties. Now, strike duties will determine strike pay, which is, of course, very important during this time. And strike pay are what these picket people will be receiving throughout this time. And we know from days prior when I was reporting that this is not even half of what they will usually receive. But we spoke to local UAW 2250 current and past board members who say this is what people's lives depend on as they enter hour 48 of this strike. United Auto Workers are continuing the fight for better pay, benefits, and working conditions one day at a time.
And we want to be able to afford to buy the cars that we build.
For 20 years, Pamela Mason has done back-breaking work at the GM plant in Wentzville. She serves on UAW's local 2250 board as their financial secretary. Today, her duties look a little different. She's at the local hall registering people for their strike duties.
Today was a day that was set aside for us to have help to come in to mass register our membership.
Mason says the task of registering nearly 4,000 employees from the plant isn't easy. Strikers I talked to off camera said this morning lines were long, but buses kept rolling in this evening. If strikers don't register today, they risk delaying strike pay by 1 week.
Picking Wentzville turns the heat up tremendously.
Vandaris Simpson, former UAW Local 2250 president, has 40 years at the GM plant. He says the strike is strategic. Other locations include the Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan, and the Stellantis plant in Toledo, Ohio.
We don't hope that other plants strike. We hope that they'll come back to the bargaining table and this thing is as quickly as possible. No one wins when we go on strike.
When they give me back my my pensions and in the tiers and give back my equitable fair share, then I'll retire. But for right now, I still have to fight for the rest of the people that can't fight for themselves.
Do you think it could take 40-something days again?
I sure hope not. I sure hope that they can sit down and come to some type of mutual agreement on what's fair and what's equitable for us. But I hope not. I don't want to see another 41-day strike.
Now, just to put things into perspective for folks at home watching all of this unfold in the several days that we've been reporting this, these people here that you see behind me on the picket lines will be here 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, rain or shine, no matter what this weather is. They are determined to be out here to make sure that they are getting what they deserve. And we want to bring up a statement for you from the UAW International President, Shawn Fain, who is responding to reports that are saying that people will get laid off if they don't strike. strike. He says their plan won't work. The UAW will make sure any worker laid off in the Big Three's latest attack will not go without an income, will organize one day longer than they can, and go the distance to win economic and social justice at the Big Three. We will continue to keep you updated here in Wentzville, but for now, reporting live, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
All right, Diamond, great work tonight. To stay on top of the UAW contract negotiations on air and online, just go to KSDK.com and continue to tune in to 5 on your side. You can also get updated on the 5 on your side app and 5+. Tonight, police have identified 3 people killed in a head-on crash in Madison County. Chase Bowles, Emily Morton, and Jada Fulkerson died when 2 cars collided on Illinois Route 4. It happened around 4 Friday morning between Troy and St. Jacob. Police say Bowles crossed the center line, crashing into another car. All 3 died on scene. Tonight, police are also identifying one of the victims shot and killed in a double shooting on Labor Day. It happened on Page and Belt. Police showed up to the Bayer YMCA. That's near Page. That's where they found 28-year-old Damian Hurston shot and an 18-year-old woman shot and killed. Police have yet to identify the 18-year-old. Time now for your weather first forecast. What a beautiful day today. And some of our areas actually preparing for some thunderstorms that are rolling through. Meteorologist Gary Frank now tracking the rainforest. Hey there, Gary.
Hey, good evening, Brent. Yeah, a lot of this rain has continued to fall apart as we move from north to south. It's still as possible that we'll see a few showers, but right now we're in pretty good shape here at this hour as we continue to monitor. Right now, quiet at the airport. It's dry, and most of us going to stay that way. Look how these storms held together and fell apart and really moved closer to Springfield, areas in Pike County, and really in central Illinois. And I want to point out where that is specifically here. As you can see, a lot of that has fallen apart here. And so that's good news in a sense that, you know, maybe it didn't disrupt your evening plans. The bad news in the sense that it's really dry outside. So that's really the big thing for me. And I think as this little boundary moves through overnight, it's not out of the question a couple of more showers or storms are going to be possible for the next 2 to 3 hours, but that is looking less and less likely as temps in the mid-60s here at this moment. And tonight, any showers that are around are ending. Mid-50s, we can still keep the windows open, but it is still going to be cool for one more day. Below average readings once again, and then we're back warming up. How high it gets the next 7 days and how long we can escape fall ahead.
Well, tonight the I-Team continues to investigate soaring car thefts. A brand new make, model, and method now becoming a favorite for thieves. Our Christine Byers reports on the new ring of car thefts using much higher technology.
This damage to Eric Dixon's car reminds him of a movie he didn't want to be in.
Gone in 60 seconds, remember that? I should have been an extra in that movie because my car was gone in 60 seconds.
He bought this Infiniti G60 less than 2 months ago.
I bought the car for my wife, and she was pretty excited. When we found the car, you know, it just made her day.
On August 13th,
we parked it in the driveway. Big mistake.
The next morning,
and I looked out the window, and it was just so casual. I'm like, sweetheart, where's your car? We both got up and came outside, and there was glass in the driveways.
The Dixons are not alone. Since April, the I-Team has learned 22 Infinitis have been stolen in unincorporated St. Louis County. That's 4 more that were stolen during all of last year. In St. Louis City, 68 have vanished so far this year, a 200% increase over last year.
Police statistics show most high-end cars get stolen when the keys are left inside. In a new twist, thieves don't need keys at all.
Joe Barbalia at Columbia Auto Repair says it's sophisticated but effective.
They're getting new key fobs, programming them through this system, and now it will start the car.
The devices aren't regulated, so anyone can buy them online even if they're not a mechanic. It isn't cheap.
The better the device, the more the cost. So it could be anywhere from up to $10,000, $12,000. They might steal a $80,000 car, $70,000 car. They could turn around and sell those cars.
In Dixon's case, the thieves damaged it. He has surveillance video. It's blurry, but shows that whoever took his car did it fast.
It was another guy in another car. They pushed it down to the end of the block, and they used some kind of device to start it up, and they was off with it.
It's unclear why Infinitis have been targeted. A spokesman for Infiniti tells the I-Team as thieves become more sophisticated, we are working to improve the security systems in our vehicles. Barbalia says most cars with key fobs are vulnerable.
It's an high-end criminal now. It's not like with the Kias and Hyundais that you just broke the window, busted a column, and USB port and took off. It's different.
St. Louis City and County Police declined the I-Team's request for an interview.
I think they should tell people. You want to tell people that, hey, they're still in this car, this is a hot car, so people can have an informed decision when they go out and purchase a vehicle.
St. Charles County, Jefferson County, and the Anti-Theft Task Force in Illinois told the I-Team they have not yet seen the problem, but it is on their radar. Police in other cities, including Memphis, are seeing a similar surge. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Christine, thanks. Experts say the best way to protect your car is by getting a steering wheel lock. Testimonies from cancer survivors and those still fighting.
A lot of days when people say to me, "Oh, you look so good," and I just think, if you knew how I felt.
How Mercy Hospital is celebrating patients and their paths to overcome, embracing natural beauty. We take you to Frizz Fest in Tower Grove Park, shining a light on Black women's natural hair. Cancer survivors and fighters coming together today to celebrate what they've overcome. This is the second annual survivorship event. Mercy Hospital hosted it. It's all about hearing stories of survival. Back in 2020, Jan Hoget learned she had cervical cancer. She went through several chemotherapy and radiation treatments, and during that process, she learned she developed lung cancer as well. She says no matter the diagnosis, she has faith.
He's given me everything I need to get through this, and I have no doubt that I will. And if you don't have a positive attitude and a good sense of humor, you're not going to make it.
And that's the motto Mercy Hospital lived by with today's celebration to inspire others. By the way, cancer survivors and fighters got to enjoy some music and mocktails. A warning for drivers in St. Clair County. Right now, the southbound lanes of I-55 at I-70 are closed. Now, this is over the B&O Railroad between the Illinois 203 and Exchange Avenue. Right now, IDOT is working on repairs there. Drivers are encouraged to pay close attention to the detour signs that will direct you to Interstate 255 and I-64. That road will reopen early Monday morning.
Well, we had a few showers and storms to our north that have fallen apart. Why we may not see any rain overnight and what it looks like the next 7 days ahead.
Well, it's time now to take you to the 4th annual Kayak with a Vet event at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park. It's a way to show appreciation to our local veterans and those with disabilities. At today's ceremony, a live performance of the national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence and prayer. Then, veterans got to take a special kayak ride across the lake. One event organizer says that this mission is all about healing.
The health and healing that comes along with kayaking out in nature, it helps our veterans to kind of forget what they've gone through and had been put through, and it just gives them that relief.
The St. Louis Elks Lodge No. 9 and the nonprofit Team River Runner hosted that event. And speaking of health and wellness, today a local community group hosted this Peace and Power pop-up event in North City. It's to help restore unity and peace in the Walnut Park and Baden neighborhoods. People got to find peace through painting, acupuncture, and even some live music.
The program is called Now, and the idea that we must heal each other. And the only way we're going to do that is if we have the knowledge and resource to do so.
Several organizations such as the Black Healers Collective and Living with Purpose collaborated to host that event. A whole lot of fun today at the 6th annual Frizz Fest in Tower Grove Park. It's all about celebrating self-love and Black natural beauty. Over 40 locally black-owned vendors on hand selling hair care products to help empower black women to showcase their natural hair. One of the festival highlights, a performance by Grammy Award-winning R&B singer Maya. Well, if you attended the Afton Lee Parade this morning, you might have noticed some familiar faces there. 5 on Your Side was proudly in support of the Afton community today. You could see our new storm tracker and 5+ bus parading through the streets, along with other floats. This year's theme was Holidays on the Parade, showcasing a variety of colorful cars, which mark different holiday seasons. And speaking of seasons, let's go ahead and get your weather first forecast. Gary Frank standing by. I told you earlier, Gary, that I'm just waiting on the official start of fall.
Yeah, you really want to feel it, right? You said your Goldilocks temperature is between 68 and 70. So we'll get there. We know that we're going to get there in plenty of time, but this week is not going to be that case at all. We've had some nice mornings at least. And, we started off this morning at 59. So, we at least, even in the city when it's in the 50s, we know, even outside of that, it's even cooler. 49 Litchfield, 50 in Chesterfield. It was cool. And, with that cloud cover that hung around, it took a while to warm up. And we did eventually warm up. In fact, we finished in the upper 70s, which 78 degrees, our normal is 81. So 67 right now. If this were in the afternoon, that's your Goldilocks temperature. But right now, we're going to take a minute to get that. The last few days, we are looking at that cloud cover and those showers and thunderstorms, and actually had some small hail in Kansas City, but that stuff weakened at a pretty good clip and eventually moved to the south. And really for us it was all that cloud cover and cool air, it really didn't hold those storms together. And it's still not out of the question that a few of them may pop up. We've kind of seen that here and there. So I don't want to rule it out completely, but I think overall you may just see some fog in some of the valleys. But, it's not out of the question that we still could see a few more showers. So I want to keep it in the back of your mind. I just don't think it's going to be a huge issue. By the time you wake up, all this stuff's gone. We're dropping it out in the mid-50s again, even in the upper 40s. Overall, though, it's absolutely not going to feel like fall at all. It will be warmer than average, and we're going to continue to see that throughout a lot of the month. So as we hit the autumnal equinox here in just a few days, within the next 5-6 days, you're going to see temperatures that are, a little bit different. Now, tomorrow, there's a lot of clearing. The clouds continue to exit, and temps are in the upper 70s. But over the next few days, we get a steady diet of none of Brent's favorite temperatures. And I mean not one of them, unless we go to 10 o'clock at night, which we often do. We talk, Brent and I and Corey, we're always talking at 10 o'clock at night, and that's the only time we're going to find those temperatures. Otherwise, it's warm, and it looks like we need to find some friends with a pool in the afternoon. Now, not at 5 o'clock, because once that sun sets, it's a little chilly now.
Right.
Because the sun angle is going down, but in the afternoon, we're still hanging on to some pool weather.
All right. Yeah. We'll take your word. We'll be right back. We have sports with Corey.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
St. Louis City SC technically had a chance to clinch a playoff spot tonight. They needed some help, but a win of their own was required in any clinch scenario. That would prove to be a tough ask against a Houston team that hadn't allowed a goal in their last 3 matches. Roman Berkey and company still sitting on top of the Western Conference heading into tonight. 42nd minute, Houston is patient in the box in front of Berkey, and Corey Baird heads it in to give the Dynamo the lead. Remember how that one looked. It's going to be important. Now let's go to the 87th minute. City needs an equalizer, and who else but the Brazilian. Klaus gets a header of his own from almost the exact same spot, and City ties things up with 3 minutes left in regulation. The game would end 1-1, so no clinch tonight, but a well-earned point for Bradley Carnell and his team.
Still frustrated because we expect 3 points of ourselves. We demand 3 points of ourselves, whether we're playing home or away, and we don't waver from our playing style and our DNA. So, I think there's a bit of tension in the locker room. They feel they could have done better.
Today was the big one. Mizzou's chance to prove to everybody in the country they could make some noise this season. They made quite a bit of noise, as you just saw. It's a signature win for Eli Drinkwitz that already has St. Louis Tiger fans lining up to see the team next week at the Dome. The St. Louis QB and receiver duo of Brady Cook and Luther Burden III went absolutely crazy in today's 30-27 win over 15th-ranked Kansas State. Cook silenced a lot of the doubters with 356 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air, along with a rushing score. Burton continued to dazzle with 114 receiving yards and those 2 touchdowns from Cook. The win was capped off by Harrison Mevis, a 61-yard game winner as time expired, the longest field goal in SEC history, and his quarterback knew Mevis was going to walk it off.
Yeah, I told him right before the kick, I was like, listen, you've been doing this your whole life. This is the opportunity. This is the Mevis opportunity right here.
But, you know, I'll take one for the team. It was such a good experience.
People don't realize until today, like, we got some dudes in that room. The team overlooked this program, and shoot, it's just all built up, and shoot, we laid it out there today.
Cards and Phillies, a mustache-less Miles Michaelis on the mound, a mustachioed Jason Isringhausen in the dugout. Izzy joining the staff at Busch this series. Here's the Cardinals' run tonight. Paul Goldschmidt sends one to the track. Mason Wynn blazes a trail from first to score. So that was it for the Cards. Kyle Schwarber may be hitting below 200, but he now has 44 home runs. Crushes a 3-run blast off Michaelis. Phillies win tonight 6-1. High school football today. Belleville East at East St. Louis. Defensive battle early on. Look at all the Lancers coming together for this tackle on defense. That's a host of them. But the Flyers would burst out. Robert Pop's battle does it with his legs from the QB position. Evades everybody, gets into the red zone for East St. Louis. He then handed off to Ryan Martin. He's going to waltz in right here for the touchdown. East St. Louis defends home turf, 48-0 win.
Wow.
Big weekend next week, Memphis and Mizzou at the Dome. It's going to be rocking. A lot of excitement.
Right. Very good. We'll be looking forward to it. Thank you, Corey. And thank you for joining us. That's all of our time at 10. We hope you have a great night.